Welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be going over what to look for when buying a used iPhone. Whether you're buying to resell or buying for personal use, there's a few things that you want to look out for when it comes to buying a used iPhone. So the first thing you want to do whenever they hand you the iPhone is just give it a good look over. Check the back, make sure there's no cracks. A lot of the newer models have the glass back. This is a 7 Plus, so it doesn't have the glass. Check the front, look for heavy scratching as well as cracks, unless you're expecting it. If it does have heavy scratching, that's one of the things that you can use to negotiate the price. So the next thing you want to do, if the phone's not on already, you want to power it on. Check the front screen. Give it a good look over. Feel the touch. Make sure there's no touch issues. One thing you're going to want to look for is the camera. Looks good. Next thing to look for is you want to go into settings, and right at the top you're going to see here, this is where people sign into their iCloud. On this one it says sign into your iPhone, which is a good sign. If they are logged into their iPhone, it's actually going to show their name and whatever email they use to log into it. You're basically going to want to hand it back to them and ask them to sign out of their iCloud. If they refuse to do this, or they say that they don't know their password, you're not going to want to buy the phone. So what you want to do next is go down to General, About, and here you're going to see all the settings for what the phone is. For instance, this is the iPhone 7 Plus. It's the 128GB version. And at the bottom here, you're going to see an IMEI number. We're going to use this IMEI number here in a bit to run a test and basically to see what carrier the phone is with and whether or not it's unlocked, as well as to make sure that the IMEI comes back matching this device. Now, if you're buying this for personal use, I don't necessarily recommend using a paid service like the one I mentioned in the video, which is SickW. If you're buying for personal, I would just do a quick free one to make sure the phone is not reported lost or stolen. Another thing you're going to look for is when you go into settings, this is the iPhone 7 Plus, so there's no Face ID, but there is a Touch ID. You basically want to go in and click the Touch ID and then add a fingerprint, and make sure that this at least tries to register your finger. Now you can go through the whole process and make sure that the whole thing works, or about here is good. As long as it's at least trying to register, it should be fine. Now if you're a reseller, it's important that you do give the phone a really good look over. You don't want there to be any discrepancies. For instance, sometimes there's going to be white spots that are really hard to see when you first look at it. So what you want to do is come into the settings and turn the brightness all the way up. This is a good screen to check for white spots, as they'll show up really well with this background. You can see here that there's not any that appear to be on here, so that's good. Okay, so this is the part I was talking about where we're going to run the IMEI number here just to make sure it's not reported lost or stolen. So go into Google and type in free IMEI blacklist check, and this first one here should do it. So all you're going to do is put this IMEI number in the this checkbox here. So after you put it in, you're going to click the check. You're going to verify that you're not a robot. If you are a robot, I don't know what to tell you. So once it's done, and you close off the ad at the top right, it's going to pull up here that the status came back clean. And if you scroll down, it'll also give you a little bit more details about the phone. So this is the free one, so you're not going to get a lot of details, but basically you can just do a quick and simple check to make sure it's good. So at this point, the phone's good to go and I would buy it. So the last thing I would recommend doing is doing a bill of sale, especially for some of these newer models, putting out $500-600. You don't want to get screwed over and then the person ghosts you if the phone has any issues at all. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below. And if you made it this far through the video, I really do appreciate it, as it helps my channel. So that's pretty much it when it comes to buying a used iPhone. These are all the things that you're going to look out for. I'm going to include in the description a link to all the websites that I use to run these checks. That's going to be all for today's video, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.